Okay. Well, and I think we have two smart candidates and teams that'll make that happen.
Well, the most important thing is having smart candidates, because let me tell you something, the candidate is the campaign. You know, sometimes the consultants get too much credit for when they win and too much blame for when they lose, but the reality is that the candidate is the campaign. And you've got very, very good candidates here. So that's really the first step. And then the second step is, you know, a favorable environment, and then is making sure we're doing the things we need to do given the tools we have in our toolbox.
How important is money going to be this year? Like Frank Ballone's got $4 million. Can he spend all $4 million and drown out a poorly or a much less funded message?
Well, you know, money is always important, okay? And there will never be an election where somebody will say money is not going to be. Money is always an issue. But we've seen, and I think again most famously last year, that a candidate can be outspent and can still win. We've seen it in some of the primaries this year. So is money important? You bet. Would it be helpful if Anna Little had as much money? Heck, if she had half as much money, yeah, that would be great. But it's one factor. It's not the only factor.
Right.
There's something to be said for an energized base of support. There's something to be said for this kind of movement where these unaffiliated voters are behaviorally Republican. And those kinds of things come together. I wouldn't say that they necessarily trump money, but when you put all the pieces together, they can provide a good defense for the kind of money that Pallone is capable of spending.
Good. So what people who want to replace Pallone should do is donate to Anna Little's campaign, because it is important, and talk to their friends and neighbors, particularly those who are unaffiliated. Unaffiliated is the majority of the congressional sixth.
Well, unaffiliated are the majority of almost every district in New Jersey. So financial donations to Scott Supprell and to Anna Little are going to be helpful, and bringing in 3 or 4 people into the process to go to a meeting, to go to an event, to donate what they can, small dollar donations, large dollar donations, having, you know, these kinds of small grassroots types of parties, everything is going to be helpful. And you know what? Spreading the word through blogs, new media. You know, people read this stuff and people trust the blogs more, because what they get is just, we know what you're getting here. These people can put comments, people can post their opinions, and then when a reader reads it, they can balance it out and say, I agree with this guy, I don't agree with that guy. You know, and so even things like blogs are a huge impact this year for this stuff.
Yeah, and you said we were last year too in the gubernatorial race.
It was absolutely. I mean, you know, people talk about new media. Well, you know, this is really. Hey, I got to tell you, and no knock against the Star Ledger, but the Star Ledger endorsed Chris Daggett, for heaven's sakes. I mean, there was no influence there.
Yeah.
You know, people come to your site and they're able to see different points of view, and that's really a healthy thing, because, you know, there's no bones about it. There's no pretenses about it. This is what you're presenting, and then people can kind of take that, absorb it, internalize it, make up their own mind.
What's up for you between now and November?
Well, you know, I'm going to be cleaning out my pool and trying to get rid of that cloudiness. No, I'm fortunate enough to have some New Jersey races, and I've got a lot of out-of-state New Jersey races. I've got some races up in Connecticut, congressional and attorney general race up there. I've got congressional in Arizona and in Florida and in Michigan. So I'm sort of all over the country. And I really like that. At the beginning of the even years, the federal years, I always like having these outside of New Jersey races.
Yeah.
But by the end of the year, I'm always happy to be back in New Jersey during those odd years, those legislative years, and, you know, the gubernatorial years. So this year is one of my, I've got some stuff in New Jersey, but I've got a lot of stuff outside of New Jersey.
Good, so you're going to be busy.
I'm going to be busy. I've got as I tell people, sort of a front row seat to all of the stuff going on. I mean, and really it is a movement all over the country. And the Tea Party looks different in some states than it does in others. For example, in Arizona, a lot of it is just border security and all this stuff going on. And in Florida right now, I've got a congressional district. It's northern Florida, so it's all about the Gulf oil spill. So you really get to see the impact of all these events up close. And so I consider myself very blessed to be able to do what I do.
Good. And we're blessed to have you here today, and
Well,
I
thank
appreciate it for taking the time out of your busy schedule.
Well, it's my pleasure, and it's finally great to be here at the headquarters of More Monmouth Musings and to finally see the studio. But I really appreciate what you do, and I would love for you to just keep doing it because it's a great service.
Good, we will, and we appreciate what you do too.
Thank you.
And thank you.
Thank you.
You've done this before.
No.
It was really good.
Thank you.